Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus Raw from November 16th, 2020. It's the final Raw. It's the go-home show before Survivor Series. We saw AEW recently pull off one of the best go-home shows that I'd seen in a very long time. I need to look up how many buys they got for their pay-per-view, by the way. But we're at the Thunderdome at the Amway Center still in Orlando, Florida. And Tom Phillips is there, and he's with Samoa Joe and Byron Saxton. Thank God, my favorite WWE announce team. Though, in case you didn't hear, full disclosure yet, why wouldn't you have? But in case you didn't, I'm going to try to cover NXT and SmackDown this week. Pray for me. Drew McIntyre comes out. And Pyro goes off. We see him on last Friday's SmackDown. He hypes up Survivor Series on Sunday. And then he says that he's going to beat Randy Orton tonight. And then he says he's going to go on and face Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. So on, so forth. Orton interrupts on a screen. He says what a bad boy he is. And Drew says he's going to win that WWE title tonight. And as he leaves the ring, Miz and John Morrison comes out. They said they're going to be at ringside. And then he says he might cash in the Money in the Bank. And then Bray Wyatt is afraid of Miz and Morrison. Bunch of bullshit. It's terrible. But at least it sets up everything. We've seen, get a video package of Lana's many table bumps from Nia Jax. And we're going to have Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Mandy Rose versus Jax, Lana, and Shayna Baszler next. Very little of that makes any kind of sense. Lana's warming up when the champs approach her. This match was Lana's idea. What? She's out to prove she's not just a fluke. And she's all here for Team Raw, and she's not going to refuse to tag in. So Jax warns Lana that she better not tag herself in. Oh, fucking Jesus. So, long story short, Lana does tag herself in, and then Asuka drops her, and then makes her tap out with the Asuka lock. So, Nia Jax looks like she's going to put her to the table, but then they welcome her to Team Raw because she got guts. But then she turns and puts Lana through the announce table 9 times in a row, I believe. Fucking terrible. I know they're waiting for this thing to come around. It would have been a nice moment actually to go like, fuck, you defeated me by taking all this punishment and keep coming back. But they don't do that. AJ Styles is not going to address problems with the men's team. Who fucking cares? I just, to say that this is not inspiring. It makes me think, I put here in the notes, that they're going to do something big, right? Probably a title change. Because that's all they've got, really. So there's going to be a tune-up match with Retribution. Okay. So we got the puppets in the Firefly Funhouse. God, when will the puppet work get better? We shall see. Charlie Caruso approaches Dana Brooke. Mandy Rose's arm is in bad shape, and Nia Jax is out of line. Reckoning of Retribution attacks and beats Brooke down. Okay, well, at least that was something. I'm actually calling that a positive. Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse. It's a bunch of bullshit. Basically, they challenge Miz. Raw Tag Team title match, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin against Kofi and Xavier in a foregone conclusion match. It goes for quite a while. Even goes through a commercial break or two eventually. New Day wins. Yay. And they're hyping the match between New Day and the Street Profits. Okay, Sheamus is back there with Drew McIntyre. Sheamus presents him with a sword. Okay. Retribution against Riddle, Keith Lee, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman. Retribution manages to get the pin because everybody's fighting each other. Fucking terrible. Jeff Hardy is upset at a flyer that Elias made. Oh boy, they're continuing this shit. Hardy gets mad at Elias. That's the long and short of it. Miz against Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt wins. Boy, that Money in the Bank briefcase, because it gives you power, it basically makes it so you don't get to win a match. Very strange. So rough. So we're back from the break. We're hyping up the title match. We get Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. They're unable to compete at Survivor Series. Charlie is with Adam Pearce. He confirms that they're going to miss Survivor Series and they're going to be replaced by Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. Whew. Asuka's there now. She's hyped for her Survivor Series match against Sasha Banks. Cool. They go over the Survivor Series card, including the final farewell for The Undertaker. Charlie's trying to talk to Randy Orton, but he brushes her off because he doesn't need to be distracted. Angel Garza's back there with a backstage promo. He talks about roses in the garden, I believe, and he sends another message to his apparent love interest. Okay. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are arguing about Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke being injured and taken off the team. They're interrupted by Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. It's whatever. It's whatever. And then we go into the title match. The fuck? I'll say this. These two have a pretty good chemistry in the ring together. It's really, really good. And it's a match that's worthy of a title match. Drew kind of wins unexpectedly. I don't mean him winning was unexpected, but in a kind of traditional style, right? Orton hits with the hanging DDT, goes for the RKO, but it's blocked, and then he hits him with the Claymore and pins him. It's kind of like, oh. Right. And then that's it. A better Raw than they've had. It wasn't the greatest go-home show, but at least it seems like they had some things in order. And a workman-like show. And Drew McIntyre's the champ again, which feels right, but it's really hard to say. All the shenanigans with the Survivor Series teams themselves, it's awful stuff. Yeah, if I look at the individual components, I would think that this was a terrible Raw, but it felt like a better Raw. And so I'm just going to chalk that up as a win. Anyway, this has been your friend in wrestling, Stephen Platinum, with Platinum versus Raw.